Hello everyone, this episode is long, but it is divided into many chapters. This way, you can watch it in many settings if your time is limited. Furthermore, my dream is that everyone enters heaven. That's why I am sharing the document I made in the description of this video. Because I am traveling soon, I did everything I could to finish editing this episode before leaving for my trip. I had to cancel all of my activities for the past 3 weeks. This episode is a setup for the next one, because a new story arc will begin. I bless everyone who will watch this episode, and I wish you all a pleasant viewing experience.
I'm Martin the burglar. My best friend, Delta the Xenomorph, and I are going to try to break down Hardmancanada's door to ambush him and steal his Burning Ranger game. Let's begin.
Hardmancanada.
Nemesis. Yeah, Docolocolo, Yoko.
I am Natalie, the policewoman in charge of this prison. You are all pathetic, but I have an important announcement to make. I'd like to introduce to all of you the new prison guard. Thanks to him, there have been fewer incidents because he shows no mercy. I will now let him speak.
Welcome to your worst nightmare. I am Goro Shokan, the new prison guard. I am Hardmancanada's roommate. This prison houses the worst criminal on the planet. The former warden resigned because he was too scared of you guys. But I am not afraid of anyone. Nothing intimidates me. If anyone escapes this prison, someone will die. My favorite part of the job is killing prisoners who don't listen to me. 5 extremely dangerous criminals have died since I became a god. I use my fatalities and brutalities ability to kill them. I receive government's permission to kill any prisoner who attempt to escape before the end of their sentence. I was given a license to do so. This prison houses criminals who have committed crimes against humanity, such as Bigfoot Yeti Sasquatch, Nemesis, Dark Phantom, the Green Man, and many others, including people from the black market and other forces of evil. Since I've been here, every prisoner has been fitted with a black collar that negates their superhuman strength and any supernatural powers. Currently, you are all as weak as a normal human. This collar is War Machine's latest invention. War Machine died in battle. He and Sakura War was fighting against Bigfoot's allies. Here are the chores that you are all going to do today. Bigfoot will take out the trash and shovel the snow. Green Men will clean the sewers and clean the floor. Nemesis will do laundry and wash the dishes. If you don't finish your work, someone will die.
Goro is very stupid, but he is strong. It is no coincidence that he is the final boss of Mortal Kombat. With Docolocolo's help, he contributed to Bigfoot's imprisonment. Hired by the government for this job, he has special authorization to kill the criminals in this prison because you are all the most dangerous criminals on the planet. No one will be sad if Goro kills you.
Hello everyone, I am Hardmancanada and I can speak with my telepathic powers because of my mustache. Today's topic is Sigma Star Saga DX. This game was released in 2005 on Game Boy Advance. 20 years later, an enhanced version called Sigma Star Saga DX was released. The enhanced physical version for the Game Boy Advance, allowing you to play it on the original console, the Game Boy Advance. Something that I found incredible. The digital version is currently available for modern consoles. Here's the unboxing of the game. This is one of the best obscure games for the Game Boy Advance. The game was released in 2005 in North America. Also, it didn't win the Game of the Year in 2005. It did receive an award of excellence for its originality. Some North American versions of the game came with the E3 2005 Seal of Excellence, the 2005 Editor's Choice Award. Very few games in history have received this honor. This game is a hidden gem. It means that a high quality game that wasn't popular at that time. Several factors contributed to this. For example, a lack of marketing, being overshadowed by popular game released around the same time, or an excellent game released at the end of a console's lifespan. Consequently, this type of game didn't receive the attention of recognition it deserved from the general public, and this was the case for Sigma Star Saga. Even if I have an amazing mustache, There was nothing I can do. Sigma Star Saga was released toward the end of the Game Boy's Advance lifespan in 2005. The Nintendo DS was Nintendo's new handheld console, and all the eyes were on the game for this new generation of console. During its first year, the Nintendo DS released several heavy hitters, for example, Nintendogs, Trauma Center, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, Sonic Rush, Kirby Canvas Curse, Mario Kart DS, Super Princess Peach, Bomberman DS, and Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright, and so on. In 2005, Game Boy Advance games began to be forgotten, and Sigma Star Saga, released at the same time as these big Nintendo DS games, had no chance of standing out for the general public. For example, if Grand Theft Auto 6 were ever released, other games coming out during the same time will have no chance to get any attention. I am also guilty of this. I remember in the summer of 2005 keeping up with the new Nintendo DS games, but I wasn't paying attention to the new Game Boy Advance games. I discovered Sigma Star Saga by chance in a store in 2007, 2 years after, and I didn't even know that the game existed before that moment. You have to understand that back then, when a new generation of console came out, there were already games to play during the first year, and the adoption of a new console was much faster compared to today. For example, today, during the 5th year of the PlayStation 5, we are still making PS4 games because the adoption of the new generation console is very slow compared to the past. But it wasn't like that back then. The new physical version of the game is on the Game Boy Advance cartridge with an instruction manual and cover. Those who know me well know that I prefer buying physical games, and when a new version of a retro game is available, I prefer to buy it to play it on the original hardware, like on my original Game Boy Advance, because of my mustache. Furthermore, I see this as a way of apologizing for having ignored this game back then. The game comes with a physical instruction manual, which pleases me because physical instruction manuals are becoming increasingly rare in modern games. It's nostalgic to open a new Game Boy Advance game after all this year. The game cover is extremely beautiful, but I put a protective plastic cover on it because, unfortunately, Game Boy Advance game originally came with a cardboard cover, not plastic one, and that's why plastic covers are important for collectors like me.
Hardmancanada, Goro forgot his dinner. Go to his work and bring it to him. Docolocolo, your guardian angel, couldn't do it because he is spending his day fighting off several bad guys who is trying to ambush you and steal your game of Burning Rangers for the Sega Saturn.
Ah, I understand. So every time I make a video and no one attack me during that day, it's thanks to Docolocolo.
Yes, it's thanks to him. You should be grateful. Docolocolo stopped the vast majority of people who want to attack you. The few villains who have succeeded in the past are those who had clever plans to outsmart Docolocolo's surveillance. You have no idea how much your guardian angel does to protect you.
Incredible! So Docolocolo is actually competent at his job. And me, I thought he was lazy and useless.
You know Hardmancanada. If he hears you say that, he will give you a good beating, as usual. By the way, there is a group of thieves called Martin and Delta. They successfully burglarize hundreds of houses. Martin uses his intelligence and Delta his strength. Apparently, they've beaten several B-rank and A-rank people who got in their way. They found a way to beat people stronger than themselves. Even Docolocolo and I will have trouble beating them. Hardmancanada, if you see them, you must run. With our calculation, even with your golden mustache form, you don't stand a chance to beat them.
I am going to introduce you to one incredible machine. This is my Nintendo GameCube, a 6th generation console. It became one of my favorite consoles. This amazing console has an adapter that greatly increased its value, the Game Boy Player. The Game Boy Player is an adapter that allows you to play Game Boy games on the big screen with the Nintendo GameCube controller. I remember that in 2003, I happened to see in a store that they were selling the Nintendo GameCube with the Game Boy Player in the same package for a limited time and for a reasonable price of 99 Canadian dollars. That what prompted me to buy the Nintendo GameCube because it was a good deal. I am glad that I brought the Game Boy Player back in the day because today's price for the complete version of the Game Boy Player is too high. Over $300. That is crazy. During that time, since the Dreamcast have left the console market and the PlayStation 2 became my main console, my main priority, I ignored the Xbox and the Nintendo GameCube at that time. But now that I think about it, I am sure that it was Nintendo's strategy to draw attention to the Nintendo GameCube because the PlayStation 2 was dominating the market after the fall of the mighty Sega Dreamcast. The Game Boy Player is an adapter that plugs into the bottom of the GameCube, and you need to insert a CD to start the application. The CD is an application that works like a GameCube game. It allows you to play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. Furthermore, you can modify settings such as controls, background, and screen sizes. I'm going to show you 4 games as examples because of my amazing mustache. Othello, Mega Man Extreme 2, Sonic Advance, and Donkey Kong Country 2.
Hey, you there! What are you guys doing?
Are you stupid or what? We are obviously burglarizing a house. If you value your miserable life, leave us alone. We will beat Hardmancanada and shave his mustache.
A smart guy, eh? I am Docolocolo, Hardmancanada's guardian angel. I cannot let you do this. Stop what you guys are doing, or I will get angry.
You miserable imbecile. Don't you see that I am with a xenomorph? You have just signed your own death warrant. Delta, beat him to death and eat his brains.
Othello is a puzzle game based on a board game of the same name. Each player is assigned a black or a white piece. To play, when it is your turn, you must flip over your opponent's color, your opponent's piece by framing them between your own color, like a sandwich. In the end, the player with the most pieces wins. When I was a child, I lived in Japan because of my father's job, and a friend of my father, knowing that I love video game, gave me this game as a gift. This is a proof that a Game Boy player has no territorial protection, which is an advantage if you want to import games. Mega Man Extreme 2. Mega Man Extreme 2 is a Game Boy Color game. It is essentially a portable version of Mega Man X1, X2, and X3 of the Super Nintendo in a single portable game. There are three differences from the Super Nintendo version. Number 1, the level design is a little bit different to adapt to the Game Boy's Color's smaller screen and to accommodate Zero's gameplay. Number 2, this time you can fully control both characters, Mega Man X and Zero. Both characters have their strengths and weaknesses. For example, Mega Man X isn't as strong as Zero but can attack from a distance. Zero, on the other hand, uses very powerful physical attack but has a low defense. This time there is a number 3. This time there is a shop where you can buy items. This is one excellent game, but I don't understand why it wasn't included in Mega Man X Legacy Collection. Goro, here is your dinner.
Thank you, Hardmancanada. By the way, how do we say pineapple in Spanish?
It is called anana in Spanish because in all languages in the world we use that name for that fruit, including Spanish and English.
I see, but if you lie to me, someone will die.
By the way, as I was leaving my house, I saw my guardian angel fighting a monster. He is doing his job well. Anyway, I am going back to my house to continue the Sigma Star Saga review.
My intuition tells me that the monster that you saw was Delta. Several months ago, a group of 50 police officers from varying rank, from rank E to rank A, attempted to arrest Martin during his burglary. But Martin summoned Delta, and this monster defeated all 50 officers. Natalie, the policewoman, was included in this group. When Delta was about to kill Natalie, I arrived in time to save her. I was there by pure chance. I was fighting Delta for 3 hours in a fierce, difficult battle. When I won the fight, and I was about to perform my finish move on him, Martin came to save Delta, and they escaped together.
Goro saved a life? It is strange to hear him say that.
Goro tells the truth. He saved my life. Because he is intellectually inferior, he lacks the capacity to lie. Lying requires a minimum of thinking. In life, there are stupid but very strong people and weak but very intelligent people. When these two types of people join forces, they form a formidable and perfectly complementary team. For example, Goro and I represent the forces of good, and Martin and Delta the forces of evil. Delta and Goro are not able to count to 20, but they are strong. Martin and I are capable of performing vector and integral calculations mentally in a few seconds, but we are weak in single combat. Strong people need intelligent people to lead them and solve complex problems, and intelligent people need strong people to protect them while making a plan.
We have to do everything so that Delta and Martin go to prison this time. And they don't know that I am the new prison warden. If Martin and Delta go to prison, they will have the surprise of their life and someone will die.
Sonic Advance. Sonic Advance is a Sonic game for the Game Boy Advance where you can control 4 characters: Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. The game has a high replayability because each character has different abilities. Furthermore, unlike classic Sonic game that was on the Sega Genesis, Master System, or the Sega Game Gear, the combat system is more complex. There is an attack button and a jump button instead of using a single button to do all of your actions. In this game, Amy Rose plays differently from the other characters because she takes full advantage of the game's combat system. She has a very unique gameplay style. She can perform all sorts of combos with her hammer, but she cannot roll into a ball just like Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, which make her approaching combat very differently. This is my favorite version of Amy Rose because she adds depth to the gameplay. It's a pleasure to play this game on the Game Boy player. I am surprised that Sega never made a collection of Sonic games for handheld console like the Sonic Advance series or the Sonic Rush series. Sega, if you see this video, I think it's time to make a collection of portable Sonic games like the Sonic Rush collection or Sonic Advance collection. This is Donkey Kong Country 2. It is my favorite Donkey Kong game of all time. King K. Rool has captured Donkey Kong to get his revenge. And now, Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong must rescue Donkey Kong on a long adventure. The Game Boy Advance version of this game is supposedly an enhanced version of the original Super Nintendo version. There are several quality of life improvements to make the game more accessible, such as more generous save points, new minigames, and more main options in the menu. My favorite new addition is the new boss, a giant crocodile that shoots fires who is the boss of the 6th world. However, the Game Boy Advance version has some differences that bothers me. For example, The colors are too bright, and we can see less on the screen because the resolution is lower. The game's physics are different, which causes me to make mistakes because the timing is different from the original version, and the music quality is inferior. If you compare the music to the Super Nintendo version, the Game Boy version is inferior. Despite its flaws, it's still one of the best games of all time. The reason why I'm talking about Nintendo GameCube's Game Boy player is because I'm going to play Sigma Star Saga on it. I am playing with style because of my mustache.
Well done, Delta. You beat Docolocolo. He fought against you all day and he still lost. What a pathetic guardian angel.
Sigma Star Saga is a story set on the backdrop of a war between two planets, Planet Earth and Planet Krill. One day, soldiers from Krill attack a military base on Earth. Tyranny, the base commander, sent his strongest soldier, Wrecker, to repel the enemy army. Wrecker is the main character. After this event, he received a top secret mission. He was sent into the Krill army as a double agent to discover how to stop a super weapon powerful enough to destroy a planet. The story's dynamic is very interesting. Wrecker becomes a Krill soldier by starting at the bottom. He begins as a slave, carrying out dangerous military missions that others refuse to do. Little by little, even if he is a double agent, he forms genuine friendship with certain Krill soldiers like Bloom and Psy. He learns a lot about the Krill culture and gains the trust of some Krill army personnel. We witness the main character's evolution. At first, he saw the Krill as enemies, but once he got to know them, he was tormented because he no longer necessarily saw them as enemies. However, he had to complete his mission, so he searched for a solution. The game has several endings depending on the choices you make during your playthrough. There are 5 endings: the worst ending, the normal ending 1, the normal ending 2, the good ending, and the best ending. To get the best ending, you have to finish the game at 100% and is only accessible in a New Game Plus playthrough, and you need to do a certain specific action. The story isn't on the same level as a Persona or a Final Fantasy game, but it is good enough that you become attached to the characters and you are motivated to play the game to get different endings, to see what happened. The first time I played the game, it took me about 17 hours to finish. Furthermore, the plot contains plenty of surprises and plot twists that will shock you. The game's gameplay is truly unique. The best way to describe it is a mix of R-Type, Zelda, Metroid, Final Fantasy, and Star Ocean. It incorporates elements of traditional RPGs like Final Fantasies, such as character states, level progression, and equipment management. It also features Zelda elements, including real-time combat during exploration. Additionally, you acquire new weapons as you progress through the story. Finally, it incorporates Metroid elements as you gain new abilities that allow you to explore previously inaccessible areas on previous planets. There are elements of R-Type, as the random encounter take place in the airplane. In this universe, airplanes have the strength proportional to the pilot. So if the pilot gets stronger, the airplane will get stronger. Just like in the R-Type games, the level at the end of each chapter are classic shoot-'em-up level with a boss at the end of each one. Sometimes the random encounter pits you against a rare mini-boss monster that are very strong and takes a long time to defeat when you are not in a high level. Mini-bosses are rare enemies, but they are worth a lot of experiences. Just like in Star Ocean game, especially Star Ocean 4, the game's theme is space and you explore a new planet in each chapter. This is a game with a lot of originality, and we can feel the passion the developer had when making this game. Your fighter jet can perform powerful attack called Smart Bomb, a white explosion that hits all enemies on the screen and destroys all projectiles. Very useful in a critical situation. It's very similar to the bombs in other shoot-'em-up games like Kasoshigami, Touhou, and Gundamonian. Smart Bombs ammunition is only available in exploration mode. Also, sometimes I really like is that we can customize our weapons. Your weapon has 3 attributes: cannon, ammunition, and impact. Cannon determines how far the shot travels. Ammunition determines the weapon type, and impact determines the type of explosion. There are hundreds of different combinations, but there are only 1 ammo slot. It would have been useful if we had 3 slots for customizable weapons.
I found out that Hardmancanada lied to me about the pineapples, but he told me that Bigfoot forced him to lie. So instead of punishing Hardmancanada, I will punish Bigfoot. Tonight all the prisoners will eat pizza, but Bigfoot will only eat 1 slice of bread. Serves him right.
Mario is a video game character that has existed for millions of years. Cavemen like Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and Neanderthal men played Mario on Atari consoles. Now we, us modern humans, the Homo sapiens, play Mario on Nintendo consoles. A few days ago, I saw a Mario cake. Because I eat a lot, I had no choice to review the Mario cake. It's very good. I give Mario's cake a score of 78%. It has a peach and vanilla flavor. With its soft texture and smooth cream, all these flavors both burst into your mouth for a delicious taste. It is very sweet, so it is not good for your health. Don't eat this every day.
My xenomorph is an excellent fighter. Thanks to the martial arts he has learned, like karate and kung fu, he is able to defeat an A-rank opponent, even though he is only B rank. Goro is one of the few who can beat Delta. He's ruined our plans in the past, and I hope I never have to see his ugly face again. Even a monkey is smarter than Goro. What? You are S rank? The legendary S rank. Very few people in the world have reached that rank. Bigfoot Yeti Sasquatch is one of the few people who is S rank. Delta, we are in trouble!
Everything that lives is designed to end.
I can see the fear in your eyes.
Claim victory and bask in the glory.
You are a crazy, insane maniac. You are too strong for us. Please don't hurt us anymore. Delta and I are going to surrender.
I am calling the police. In prison, you will meet the new prison guard. He will be your worst nightmare. This will teach both of you a lesson that burglarizing a house is wrong.
The version I'm playing is the DX version released in 2026. It is an enhanced version of the original, which came out in 2005. I played the original back then, and here are the differences that I've noticed based on my memory. In the DX version, random encounters are less frequent. Bosses are worth 3 times more experiences. Map now indicate where you go, which is a huge improvement, and I'm glad of it. And save points are more generous. The DX version can also do your taxes and your coffee. Despite this improvement, the game has retained certain flaws from the original game, such as map not being available inside caves and buildings, the game's not explaining very well how to use new terrain abilities, only having one slot for your custom weapons, not having hidden potions in your item inventory, and not having detailed statistics of your character or enemies, such as HP, attack, special attack, defense, and special defense. The final drawback is its hybrid nature, but the hybrid nature is also its greatest strength. Its greatest weakness is its greatest strength. Because of the hybrid nature, players' opinions are very divided. Some give a game a 10 out of 10 for its originality and says it's a masterpiece that should have been the portable game of the year in 2005. The fact that it won an award of excellence in 2005 proves my point. However, others give the game a 6 out of 10 because of its hybrid nature, result in a disjointed experience that is lacking directions. It is essentially an average RPG, an average shoot 'em up, and an average Metroidvania, all rolled into a single game without being excellent in any particular aspect. There is no real specialization. Those who give it a 6 out of 10 say the game lacked distinct identity by trying to do many things at once. It is like comparing a person who can work in any field and a person who is a specialist in one field. As I said earlier, the disadvantage of being a hybrid game is also its greatest strength. Despite its drawback, the game has several strengths. The graphics are incredible for a Game Boy Advance game. The vibrant and expressive character animation brings the game to life. The environments are beautiful, and thanks to the high quality graphics, we can immediately grasp the theme of each planet. For example, when we visit the first planet, we immediately understand that it's a planet filled with beautiful forest and river. It's the same with other planets. We understand that the second planet is a fire planet, and the third planet is an ice planet, and the fourth planet is a sand planet, and so on. Each planet has its own unique identity, perfectly expressed through the game's graphic. The artists have put a lot of effort into making each planet very memorable. Not only the graphics are stunning, but the controls are perfect thanks to their precision. In aerial combat, you can adjust the speed of your airplane. In exploration mode, the control sensibility has been fine-tuned to perfection, making them incredibly intuitive. Controls that reach this level of refinement give you the feeling that you're controlling the game directly with your brain. As if the game hasn't already have enough good qualities, the music perfectly reflects the atmosphere of each situation, enhancing your immersion. For example, the forest planet has a cheerful music to represent a peaceful world. The fire planet features action music with a guitar to convey that it is a hostile planet. And the ice planet music uses instruments that produce crystal-like sound like a xylophone to mimic the physical noise of ice. Furthermore, each planet has its own unique random battle music for added diversity. My personal favorite random battle music is the forest planet theme. It is in my personal top 10 normal battle music of RPG games. The composer's musical skills is truly remarkable. The composer have a very high musical IQ. You won't be disappointed with the game's music. Another great thing is that when you finish the game, you can start a new game plus to replay it. This allows you to unlock other endings, and it's only in a new game plus that you can get the best ending. Furthermore, you keep some of your equipment. This means that you can start a new game with the strongest weapon in the early games, but you go back to level 1. So there is a limit on how overpowered you can be, even if you have overpowered weapon in the early game.
Alert. Alert. Green Man has escaped from prison. He is criminal with a power level of rank C. He is a public menace. He is extremely dangerous. He steals rare games from collectors.
So the prophecy will come true. Hardmancanada's guardian angel, Docolocolo, had a vision that Green Man will fight against Hardmancanada to steal his game of Burning Ranger, a rare game.
I suspect Bigfoot helped him escape, but I have no proof.
Once Green Man returns to prison, someone will die.
The continuation of this event will likely take place in the next episode of Hardmancanada, Goro. Once Green Man comes back, show me your new fatality.
In conclusion, I give Sigma Star Saga on the Game Boy Advance a score of 90%. Despite a few flaws, the advantage far outweighed the disadvantages. The music, the colorful graphic, and the gameplay are excellent. The game has a high replay value and enduring characters. This excellent game reminds me of modern indie games, which have more originality than modern AAA games. Bye everyone, I love you all because of my mustache. See you next time. My next episode will be about a tour of my gaming room. I moved into my new house and it's time to show you how I arranged my games.
In the next episode, green men who escape from prison will fight Hardmancanada to steal his game of burning rangers. You don't want to miss this epic battle.
Martin and Delta. Before I show you your prison cell, I'd like to introduce you to the new prison warden. I'm eager to see your reaction. I call it karma.
Oh no! Goro, you are the prison guard?
I will be your worst nightmare. If you don't behave yourself, someone will die. I love this job.